Hello everyone, I am Liju along with Andrew and Michael representing Team Floating Point. We are here to discuss key insights from the study of beers and breweries data in US and specifically about distribution of breweries by state, then more on alcohol content and bitterness of beer, which we call it as ABV and IBU, and then on classification of beers, and we will wrap up with key takeaways and opportunities. Before we get into actual analysis, a quick run over of the data and the missing values. We first looked at the two datasets given, the beer dataset with IBU and ABV levels, and the brewery dataset with the location information. So coming to the missing values, here is the plot that shows the missing values. We have about 40% of data missing IBUs. In general, IBU is not regularly reported per beer. We don't want to throw this out, so we have replaced the missing values with with average IBU and ABV values in that style. One thing I would like to mention here for beer style cedars, IBU doesn't apply to it. So we set the IBU to 0 for cedars. After all this imputation, we were left with 20 beers, which is 1% of the data, where we couldn't supply with missing values and we were forced to drop it. Now into actual analysis. This shows the distribution of breweries across United States. We can see California, Colorado, and Michigan contain the most breweries in US. Couple more insights here. There is no specific region like East, West, or other region that's dominated by breweries. And also, the population is not the only factor affecting the presence of breweries. Moving on to the next insight. This plot shows the median alcohol content and median bitterness of beers by state. If you see, the median alcohol content varies less across the states than the bitterness. Again, no obvious geographical or regional patterns here. Here we have the two plots that shows the distribution of ABV and IBU for beers. Alcohol content is slightly right skewed as beers are not typically strong alcoholic drink, and distribution of bitterness of beers may be bimodal. This shows the top 5 IBU beers and ABV beers. Couple of things that stand out here are Boulder, Colorado has the two of the top 5 alcohol content beers, and all of the top 5 bitter beers are American IPAs. And now let's explore the relationship between IBU and ABV. This plot with the regression line tells a moderate positive linear correlation between alcohol content and bitterness. So we can tell that as bitterness of the beer increases, the alcohol content also increases. One more thing here is the data is sparse beyond IBU value of 60, and we can see a cluster below IBU 50. We also did a classification of beers using K nearest neighbors, and we were able to classify the beers with 89% accuracy based on IBU and ABV values, which is pretty good. From the plots, you can see the IBU and ABV values tend to be higher for IPA than the other ales. We did further classify the top 5 common beer styles, and we have seen considerable overlap among the styles. Here are the prediction results, and I would like to mention a couple of insights here. American Amber Red and Blonde ales are difficult to classify due to the overlap with the other styles. And second, Pale Ale IPA and the Imperial IPA are more distinctly separated by IBU and ABV. And finally, we want to conclude with key takeaways shown here. One, there is no obvious regional patterns in the distribution of breweries. Then IBUs are not regularly reported. Third, there is a moderate positive linear relationship between IBU and ABV, and the bimodal distribution of IBU could mean possible different markets, and not all styles of beers can be accurately classified by IBU and ABV. Next, we want to call out a couple of things outside this project for further research that might be interesting and which is actually looking at the distribution of sales data to know where the beer is going and some demographics and economics of the state. That's all we have for today. Thank you very much for time.